Remember when in 2024, 2023, 2022, under Joe Biden, there were hundreds upon hundreds of protests that were anti-American, pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist organizations? Well, regardless of what your opinion was on Israel or is on Israel right now, those protests were ridiculous. They were anti-American. They happened on college campuses. They were fueled by the radical left. And the issue I have with them is that the very people that organized those protests, supporting Hamas, supporting terrorist organizations around the world that are anti-American, have now been released from ICE custody. This is a Musk leader in what I believe is to be Wisconsin that has recently been released from ICE custody after basically calling for Hamas to eradicate not only Israel, but the entirety of the Western world. Take a look.
I want to tell you the story of Salah Sarsour. Sarsour is the president of Wisconsin's largest mosque.
That's right.
He is a community leader beloved by his neighbors, friends, and family. He is a proud husband, a dad of 6, and a grandfather of 9. He is a Palestinian-born legal resident of the United States. And in March, Salah Sarsour was taken into custody by ICE.
Let me be clear, before he starts yapping, the reason why he was taken into custody with ICE was not because he was spewing anti-Israel rhetoric. He was. But most of all, it was because his twin brother, or excuse me, brother, I don't know if they were twins, was funding ICE. And not ICE, Hamas. His twin brother funded Hamas in 1998 and got arrested for that. Then he himself had ties with Hamas and the organization and showing support for Hamas. So if you are a legal resident of the United States, you don't yet have your, green card or citizenship, and you are spewing rhetoric that is pro-Hamas, and your brother got arrested for supporting and funding Hamas, what do you expect to happen to you? Like, are we supposed to just sit there and quietly ignore the situation? Or are we supposed to actually take concrete action?
The government claims he is a foreign policy threat. Sarsour and his lawyers say he was targeted for speaking out against Israel. His family, supporters, and some elected officials fought for his release. And on Thursday, a judge ruled that Sarsour did raise a substantial claim of retaliation for free speech. Sarsour was released from detention on Thursday just in time for Father's Day. His oldest son, Kareem, said in a statement, quote, "We're getting our dad back." Kareem joins us now along with his wife, Seema Owaisi. Thank you so much to both of you for being here.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you for having us.
Kareem, what has this reunion been like? How's your dad doing?
Thank you again. Thank you for having us, and happy Father's Day to you and all the fathers out there.
Thank you.
Keep in mind, they didn't even get him on. They got his, I got his son, and I believe either that's his sister or daughter on. But this is crazy again. This guy is a Hamas supporting, terrorist supporting person who got released from ICE custody because of an activist judge. And Elon Musk recently posted this. Activist judges are running our country, and people have to start understanding that, because when we have activist judges running our country is no longer the country that the framers intended it to be. The executive is supposed to be the branch that that enforces policy, and the legislative is supposed to be the branch that creates policy. The judicial branch should not be an activist branch. However, now it is, and this is a perfect example.
I mean, since they took my father almost over 80 days ago, we've been living like a nightmare every single day and every hour of that day. So having my father back home with his family, his community, his loved ones meant a great deal. We had enormous support from our community, from all different faiths, groups, backgrounds. And it was a beautiful thing seeing him hug his mother after over 80 days not seeing her.
How is he feeling?
He is overwhelmed with emotions. I mean, there was a lot of crying out of joy and happiness, being reunited, seeing his family, seeing his grandson that he didn't see, that was born when he was in the detention center. And it's honestly a dream come true, and we're very happy. He's very happy to be here with us today.
Seema, after his release, your father-in-law said, quote, "For 80 days, I haven't been able to step outside and breathe fresh air." What was it like for you to be reunited with him, to see him in the fresh air again?
It was really nice. Honestly, he had called my sister-in-law. It was like a FaceTime video, and I happened to be there. It was a weird feeling seeing him outside for the first time in a long time, and I was like, oh, is it hot? You know, he was like waiting for them to get there, and I was like, is that hot? He's like, I don't care, like, about the weather.
Look, I'm going to say this once. I am a very big supporter of free speech. It is one of the fundamental, freedoms that our country has that is uncompared to any other country. You can go to the UK and you will not see anywhere close to the amount of free speech that we have in the United States. In the UK, you can get arrested for criticizing someone. In France, same thing. That is what makes our country very unique. Free speech and the Bill of Rights, the protections that we have against the government, that the government is not protected of, but we are protected from the government. And that is a very, very, very fundamental right. However, that is for U.S. citizens, and that is for people that not only are legally in our country, but U.S. citizens. If you are criticizing our country, if you, let's use this hypothetical. If you are a Nazi, if you are showing support for the Nazi movement or Nazi party, whatever it is now, the neo-Nazis, and you are being kicked out of our country. You are a legal resident here, meaning that you have the proper papers to stay. You don't have citizenship yet, but you're legal in the United States. You're a legal immigrant. If you are showing support for the Nazis, do you really think that the United States should let you stay? Obviously not. Obviously not. And in the screening process, in getting a visa and obtaining the ability to come into the United States legally, you are asked questions whether you support a terrorist organization and all of that stuff. So I am very surprised with someone like him, whose brother was funding Hamas, how the hell he got into the United States. I really wonder. Maybe it's under Joe Biden, maybe it's under Obama, their policies that were very open. I don't know. But the fundamental truth is that the right to free speech, yes, it is given to everybody who is in our country, but the United States has a duty to discriminate when it comes to immigration. It has a duty to discriminate who can stay in our country, who will contribute to our country, and who cannot.
There and just breathing fresh air and enjoying the sun, so it was really amazing.
Do I have it right, Kareem, that your dad has excuse me, type 2 diabetes, and your dad lost a significant amount of weight in detention? His attorneys, I believe, say his blood sugar levels were being checked just once a month in the jail. And DHS, I should also say, has said about this, all people in ICE custody get 3 meals a day and proper medical treatment, that any accusation of discrimination by ICE agents is false. Do I have that right? What else have you learned about how people are being treated in ICE custody?
So the conditions in the detention center, we say it's a dungeon, not a detention center. The conditions are terrible. He actually lost 35 pounds in the detention center. Wow. We checked him right after he left the center, and we found out that he lost 35 pounds.
Again, all of this rhetoric, oh, the detention center, such bad conditions, this is just completely false. Look, at the end of the day, the left is trying to make the detention centers seem as bad as possible, which is leading to more and more checks, more and more regulations, more and more, investigations into this. And so far, none of them have been conclusive. They have not shown any mistreatment that isn't accordance to federal law. And this just goes to show that you can be yapping about something, but when you actually go and investigate, it's not true. If anything, right now, the detention centers are much better than they have ever been. I mean, remember, the only president ever that has put people in cages was Obama, who put literal children in cages, and then he tried to frame it as a Trump thing.
My father, when we brought him back to the family was shocked to see his conditions, his health. He went, I believe, was it 6 inches? He lost 6 inches of waist, and honestly, we needed to keep up with his health as fast as we can, because we believe what happened over there made things way much terrible for him and his condition.
Seema, Kareem's dad has been a legal resident of this country, legal resident for decades. He is a beloved leader and a community member.
And Hamas supporter.
When you hear people say that they are going after the worst of the worst, how does that now hit home for you?
Honestly, if you ask anybody that has ever met him, they only say good things about him. We all know who Salah Sarsour is, and he's our hero. And anyone who has ever met him knows that those allegations are just silly.
Kareem, a lot of time when you talk to people, I've talked to a lot of them who have been inside these detention centers and ultimately make their way out. Narciso Barranco is one that comes to mind, the father of those 3 Marines that had the holy hell beaten out of him by, all you have to do is watch the tape, by ICE agents or Border Patrol agents on the street here, when he was gardening outside of an IHOP in Santa Ana, California. What he said to me is when he got out, all he could do was think about the other people that were still inside. Has your dad talked to you at all about the people that he met when he was detained?
Absolutely. I mean, it was almost a 5-hour ride back home, so we talked to him a lot. He kept mentioning the people that he left behind. They're business people, family people, beloved members of their community. They give back to society. They left behind beautiful families. And he was saying that the moment that the judge ordered his release and he informed the other people over there that he's leaving, a lot of tears, hugs, and they said, Salah, tomorrow, how can we live without you? They built a beautiful bond, but
I have
mean,
absolutely like I'm reading more and more about this guy, and I have no idea how he was let into the country in the first place. So far, they have said that he's a Palestinian. No, apparently he's a Jordanian, which doesn't make a big difference. But I just wanted to put that out there. Number 2, there has been a history of the DHS, the FBI tracking this guy, and finding ridiculous things about him, whether he lied on his property taxes, on immigration forms. How is this guy into our country? His brother was convicted of charges relating to helping fund Hamas, and wrote in ABC News in 2003, Israeli and U.S. authorities say that his brother helped finance a string of suicide bus bombings in Israel, including one that killed 2 Americans. So how the hell is this guy in our country?
He is saying their stories every single day. We need to bring him back home to their families.
What does the future hold for your dad, and how do you expect the rest of the story to play out?
I mean, what happened on March 30th was an attack on our community, on our Constitution, and on our freedom of speech. I mean, right now, Salah, my dad, is with us, and we're very grateful for that, but the battle is not over. He still has an immigration battle to go through, and as we got the news of his release, we're hopeful to get the news that this will be done and over and part of the past.
Kareem Sarsour and
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so, and leave your comments and questions on him in particular. I find this crazy. This is not the first time. We saw Mahmoud Khalil, who was the actual leader of the ridiculous terrorist-supporting protest at Columbia University just recently, and we are constantly seeing the release of these people again. It's like, sure, he may be a community leader. These people seem nice and everything, but if you're Hamas supporting, if you're supportive of the terrorist organization, I don't think it's crazy to say you don't want those people in our country. It's just, no, we shouldn't have terrorists in our country, and we shouldn't have terrorist supporters in our country. So we'll see what happens with the immigration status. As of now, he's just released from the detention center. We don't actually know what's going to happen with his papers or anything. And we know that usually the Secretary of State has overwhelming authority to cancel any sort of visas like this. So guys, stay tuned, and I'll see you next time on the Patriot Perspective.